Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division 2 video today by me, Vulcan. In this video I have for you game 1 of a best of 3 between Frubblord and Vitch in the final of the first Steel Division 2 Championship. Today they are going to be playing on Sianno, and on the Soviet side Frubblord is using the 84th Guards Rifles and the Vanguard deployment type. And on the Axis side, Vitch is using the 352nd Infantry and the Maverick deployment type. Both of these players have come an awful long way to the final, going through 4 rounds, 3 of which I've covered on the channel. Previously, Frubblord took out Arturo Diaz, and before that took out ZZ, so some big names for Frubblord to knock out, but also the same for Vitch, who took out Gonzo in the quarterfinal and Pixie in the semis. This should be an awesome clash between two very good players. We'll have to see how they can do. Frubblord with the 84th Guards Rifles. It's an interesting division, we have seen it before. Makes good use of support weapons, does have plenty of disheartened units that it can use to find infantry value, as well as the IS-2s, which can be great for holding ground on this bottom side of the map. Put one of these IS-2s on the ridge, you could have a really good firing platform. But on the side of Vitch, he's using the 352nd. Again, great use of disheartened infantry in the form of the ersatz. There's also plenty of decent support weapons in the IG-33, IG-18s, and of course great recon vehicles in the SPW, as well as the big cats, the Jagdpanthers, of course. Now let's see what is being placed down by both of these players. On the top side here for Frubblord, it looks like quite a large amount of troops going down. We've got 2 OB-25s here, as well as the 45mm AT gun. On the main road going into the town on this top side, multiple units of flamers. That is going to be 6 flamers. They're probably not all heading into this area. Some might be spreading out towards the center. Bear that in mind. Either way, plenty of these Chernos. These are the disheartened infantry with the PTRS squad. That's an AT rifle. Then we have the commander at the start of the game with the leader squad there, as well as 2 Gvardia DP, which are the Gvardia squads with 2 machine guns. There's also the KV-8S at the start of the game for Frubblord. Further down, we do see more support weapons. There's going to be 2 more OB-25s, another PTRS there, as well as 3 flamer squads, and on the bottom just a 45mm AT gun. It looks like that's going to be going up to this ridge just to snipe enemy transports, whilst Frubblord tries to get some flamers into the town and contest this flag. On the side of Vitch, on the bottom side here, we have 3 Flammenwerfers with an SPW-204 recon car. That's going to be good for sniping enemy transports at the start for sure. Then we see another SPW-204 with a PaK-38 Flammenwerfer IG-18. There's also a PaK-43 at the start for Vitch, and a Grenadier, maybe anticipating the use of an IS-2 early on. Further up on the main road, we see a B2. Gotta love a good B2. SPW-204, a couple units of Flammenwerfer, Stostrup, 2 units of Stostrup, Ersatztruppen and Batterieführer. And on the very top side we have the 3 Flammenwerfer, Stostrup, 2 Stostrup there, Batterieführer, PaK-40, and followed up by an SPW-204. Those are the commands for Vitch's forces, and these are the commands for Frubblord. So mostly just unload at position, and the quick hunt orders for the KV-8S there. Now the KV-8S will deal with the SPW-204s quite easily. Same with the OB-25s and 45mm AT guns on this bottom side. So Vitch might have to be careful with these SPWs, otherwise they will get picked off pretty easily. We do actually see a Nebelwerfer at the start from Vitch. Looks like that's going to be firing toward this area. We do see one of the squads there go down in the town. Frubblord losing, I think, a unit of flamers. The SPW-204 trying to get a shot off on here as well. It looks like another unit of flamers was lost there as the trade goes between the Flammenwerfer and the Ognamachiki. Double OB going to do a lot of damage to these grenadiers in the open. They fire very quickly indeed, but these 3 Flammenwerfers have already got down to the heavy cover here, which could provide problems for Frubblord, pushing in with Spellyrocks and the Gavardia. So it looks like that Nebelwerfer was maybe not used. No, it looks like he changed the target as the front line was easily pushed on this top side, but basically 3 Flammenwerfers accompanied by 2 Stosstroop. This is quite a common combo, the triple flamethrower, 2 Stosstroop. Gonna go into these Gavardia and do so much damage to those. We see the Nebelwerfer come down on top of the Ognemachiki, actually ends up pinning down one of his own Flammenwerfer. Ognemachiki will eventually get taken out, I'm sure, but Frubblord's managed to take control of this flag, so currently going 13 to 11. 45mm IT gun does take out the SBW-204 on the bottom side, but I'm worried for this infantry engagement for Frubblord. The triple Flammenwerfer may be able to pin down those squads one by one and take them out. The Gavardia have been forced back from this engagement. OB-25 though and the 45mm AT gun may be under threat as the Stosstroop and Flammenwerfer come down. This is a really nice move from Vitch to remove some of these support weapons on the top side. The second flag captured on the bottom side now for Frubblord as he puts pressure onto these Flammenwerfers. He has managed to pin this one Spellyrocks, but he should now be... Well, Vitch needs to change the targeting of these Flammenwerfers onto the Gavardia squads. He needs to pin these down, not kill them off, and that way he can find the surrenders. That would be a lot more efficient. The OB-25 trying to use up its heat shells to get the kill onto the SBW-204, just fired its last one. Will that hit the mark? No, it won't. It will actually miss, so HE is now being used. So the Gavardia have broken down the Flammenwerfers, and without the micro to back that up, the Flammenwerfers are going to go down. Frubblord's going to go back to 14 to 10 as he is continuing to put pressure on in the town. The Chernos have arrived and they're now pushing up into the Flammenwerfer squads and the Stosstroop. Now, one thing you do by using a lot of cheap infantry squads like Flammenwerfer and Stosstroop, you leave yourself vulnerable to being overwhelmed by cheaper squads, which is why Ersatz and Ostrupen and all that good stuff are very cost efficient, because you have so many men that a small squad of Stosstroop and Flammenwerfer, however lethal they are, just can't kill enough men, right, before they get overwhelmed. So that's a big issue here, and Frubblord's taken advantage of it in the town to push onto these Stosstroop. They can only, for example, throw a Molotov onto one of these squads, not all 3. So eventually the Stosstroop will take enough damage to be taken out. The KV does manage to take care of the SBW-204 in the end. Meanwhile, on the top side, the OBs are still engaging with HE ammunition. IG's trying to fire back now. And 2 Panzer B2s have joined the fray. So those B2s will be able to take care of the OBs if they start firing towards them, because the OBs no longer have any heat ammunition. So Frubblord's going to need some armor down this side, and that's why he's bringing in the T-34E, which will definitely be able to engage the B2s from range. But Vitch is in trouble. Frubblord has ultimate control over this town, pushing to 15 to 9, which has enabled the double tick. That's not good news for Vitch at all, so he's investing in some Ersatztruppen to take back the point on the bottom side of this town. Now with Sianno, both of these flags in the town on the bottom start on the side of the Axis. And so with Frubblord even controlling just one of these, he constantly has an advantage in this area. He's also controlling this flag though, since it was neglected by Vitch at the start of the game. Vitch has had to invest in 2 Sturm Pioneers to push that back. B2's now engaging the Gavardia though, not the OBs and the 45mm AT gun. And that is a big deal, because that's going to end up getting these B2s killed, especially when the T-34 arrives, if these are already pinned down. But he might not even be able to see the 45mm AT gun, that could be an issue. Anyway, the MU-109 G2 BR-21 coming in to pin down and kill a squad of Chernos there. Doesn't actually get the pin onto the second unit of Chernos, and well, both of those work together to take out the last unit of Stosstroop in that area. A unit of Flammenwerfer going down. Again, the overwhelming numbers of Chernos, as well as the now Gavardia and Spellyrocks squads, are going to get the better of the Stosstroop Flammenwerfer Battleführer eventually. The 2 T-34Es joining in this town engagement are going to do a lot of damage to Grenadiers that don't have Panzerfaust. Those Panzerfaust, or the Grenadiers, need to get into cover, and then Vitch is going to have to invest in some form of AT, like an AT gun I would assume, or maybe he could go for his Jagdpanther, but needs to be careful of the options that the 84th Guards Rifles has to take care of those. Either way, T-34E is now engaging the B2, so you can see that they are going to get the better of them, and this IG-18 also in trouble is going to go down to the shot from the T-34. There is of course the Pak-43, which can probably one-shot these T-34s very easily, but currently has dodgy line of sight. I think it needs to move forward slightly in order to get the shots off. Either way, these T-34s are being made 3-star veterancy, and this is due to the fact that Frubblord is using his combat at the start of the game. And this is something that I think we've seen Frubblord do before, where he brings in the commander early on and then gets a lot of value out of his units by making them high veterancy. So in this case, 3-star T-34s doing tons of damage to the Grenadiers with their 2 machine guns, with their HE ammo, and basically Vitch has lost so much value by allowing those Grenadiers to die before they got into cover. Now that B2 in trouble, the Pak-43 still not firing. Again, just a little bit far back there. It's probably because the cover extends to here, almost where that IG was. Anyway, the Sturm Pioneers did manage to take care of both of the Flammenwerfer near this flag, but the 45mm AT gun's still causing issues. That will get taken out by the Sturm Pioneer now, and Vitch recovers one of them and stops the double tick. That's very important, but just as he does that, this point now being captured at the crossroads, T-34E is moving forward to secure that, along with the KV-8S on the road. So Pak-40 has been brought in to deal with these tanks, so an AT gun as expected. But that's going to go down to the shot from the KV-8S, and that is not what Vitch needs at all. That is massive. A second unit going down as well. The Ersatztruppen getting killed there. Vitch forced to unload the rest, and that is very, very bad news. He has managed to capture back that point and stop the double tick for now. But that is really bad news, losing the Pak-40. Double IG unloaded on the top side. Double Werfer going to be trying to hit the Gvardia there. And we do actually see a plane going down on the bottom side. I'm not entirely sure what that was. I'm just trying to identify it. Looks like a P-3 of some sort, maybe a bomber. Either way, the Flak-Verling taking care of that. This Pak-43 still not really engaging, which is really bad. That needs to move forwards, get line of sight onto the T-34E. It might actually be being blocked by the church, potentially. That line of sight, I'm not sure. Anyway, the Ersatz on the bottom side, they're going to get forced back, and the Cherno's getting the better of them from the heavy cover. It's quite important, since it's going to allow Frubblord to take this flag on the bottom side, pushing it back to fight 15-9. The double tick starts once again. Ersatztruppen on the top side, completely overwhelmed by the amount of Chernos and the Superioroks that Frubblord has. The double IG-18 might be able to help, but that is going to be a Pak-40 dying there to infantry on the top side. HS-129B3. It looks like he's had enough of these tanks. So one of the T-34Es is going to get taken out. Looks like one of the shots actually went onto the KV-8S and crew panicked it. But ultimately these Ersatztruppen in a very tough spot, and it's currently dropped to 17-7. Now, I didn't really talk about the deployment types too much, but Frubblord's on Vanguard, so it's expected that he should do well in Phase A, and so far so good. He's done fantastically well. He's found lots of value out of his units. But Vitch may be able to make a bit of a comeback with the Phase B income from the Maverick deployment type. We'll have to see if that's the case. If this proceeds to Phase C, we may just see the game come down to availability as we have done in the past. But there we see the Pak-40 on the road. That's been forced to unload early, as Vitch does not want the transport being destroyed, of course. But here comes the HS-129. Can it kill the second T-34E? It does find the bailout, does find the kill. So now Vitch is going to want to use that to take out the KV-8S as well. And as long as he can keep that flying around without an enemy fighter coming in, he probably will continue to do so. But Frubblord investing in a lot of AA. Actually going to be bringing in 2 85mm AA and 2 37mm. He does not want those HS-129s in play. That is a big move for Frubblord. Maybe he's considering bringing in an IS-2, and generally when you want to bring in a big tank like a Tiger or a Panther, or in this case an IS-2, you want to get your AA down early so that you can preemptively shut down enemy aircraft. And so yeah, I reckon we might see an IS-2 come in after this, but there's already an 85mm here. It's interesting to see so many being brought in, like 2 would have been enough. I mean, just 285 mils probably would have been enough. Anyway, Vitch trying to make ground where he can. The Sturm Pioneers pushing a salient in the center of the map is currently capturing a flag, but with the T-34Es in play, they might be able to stop this. However, the HS-129, will it find the kill? Does manage to kill one of them. Oh, and the second shot there from the HS-129B3, so important. Does get the second hit, and, well, that's going to allow the Sturm Pioneers to stay alive for a little bit longer, but it doesn't stop the 17-7, it just stops 18-6. And that is a big issue for Vitch right now. I feel like Frubblord may have just found too much of an advantage for Vitch to push back in Phase B. But still all to play for. We see the Grenadiers coming in, and they might be able to start breaking down some of this infantry that Frubblord has. As long as they stick together and outnumber the enemy, they should be able to get a lot of value. The Grenadiers pushing now towards the centre flag here, but 3 units of Chernos there currently. We do also see that the Nebelwerfer was killed on this top side. I assume that came under fire because of the tanks moving up. By the way, more units coming onto the bottom side now. Just all of the Grenadiers being purchased with Vitch, going all out on the infantry availability in order to break down Frubblord's forces. And the bottom side is probably the best way for Vitch to recover, honestly. There's a limited amount of forces in the town. He may not be completely aware of that, Vitch, but either way, has the Jagdpanther to cover, so it's going to be using that alongside the PaK-43 to allow these Grenadiers to make ground and capture back a couple of flags here. Might even be able to push up onto the ridge behind. It depends on whether or not Frubblord reacts to that push coming in. Either way, Frubblord still has tons of ground on the top side and controls both this flag and this flag, so the crossroad and this little, I guess, just like farmhouse. But the Grenadiers are pushing back strong. Gavardia DP in a tough spot there on their own. Looks like a lot of these also are running out of ammunition. These Chernos, their machine guns are certainly running out very quickly. Saperdi Rocks, they have plenty of machine gun ammunition left. It looks like they're just running out of SVT ammo. Even more Grenadiers on the way now. We've got 3 coming into the bottom side, another 4 units of Ersatztruppen heading onto this flag. And, well, with the Chernos running out of machine gun ammunition, the Ersatztruppen will be able to fight back quite efficiently, because the Mosin-Nagants of the Chernos are not fantastic, although saying that, the Chernos are in heavy cover, whilst the Ersatz are not, so the Ersatz are going to take way more damage. Oh, we're going to see the 85mm on the main road. That's going to be engaging the Stug. The Stug needs to be very careful here. Over time, this 85 will definitely penetrate. It has a lot of rate of fire as well. APCR probably isn't helping at this range though. At the max range, the APCR is generally worth turning off. Frubblord just firing away though. Can you find the hit? Look at this road. These poor Ersatztruppen, it's like Hell's Highway. You see the APCR shot flying past there as it tries to engage the Stugs. Oh, Jagdpanther coming up behind. Also the PaK-40 rolling up the side of the road. And the Stug did manage to pin the 85, so I think Frubblord there making a mistake by not turning off the APCR and has lost the 85 because of it. HS-129 going to try and get the kill onto the KV. Does manage to find it, but will probably die to the 37mm AA. One of them is 2-star veterancy, and that's going to be very accurate, so gets the job done. But we can see progress being made by Vitch on the bottom side. His Grenadiers definitely outnumber Frubblord down here, and it looks like Frublord's AT is struggling to penetrate this Jagdpanther. The Jagdpanther is currently covered by the flak-filling. There's not actually too much that Frubblord can do about that. He has already lost their P3 on this bottom side, and so probably is unwilling to use an aircraft to take this Jagdpanther out again. So, the 2 points in the town taken back. This is very vital for Vitch for sure. We're also seeing him start to take back control of these flags further up. He's pushed the Jagdpanther right onto this flag. It's currently being shot at by the PTRS. PTRS might be able to do some damage into the side armor of, say, a Stug, but I'm not sure about the Jagdpanther. The Jagdpanther only has 55mm of side armor, so that's going to be a transmission destroy there. Yeah, as soon as that found side armor shots, the PTRS getting a lot of shots on target, and potentially even more penetrations coming through here as it reloads. Can it find a kill? So many crits. And these Chernos have been surrounded. They've run out of both Mosin ammo and DP ammo, so in a tough spot for sure. Basically have no value as infantry squads. That PTRS in the town there has been taken out, and yeah, looks like Vitch has just solidified his hold on the bottom side, but now needs to make more progress back on the top, because there are so many flags here that are still controlled by Frubblord. These two specifically start on the side of Vitch, and even taking both of these back will only put it back to 12 to 12. After that, Vitch needs to find a way to continue his push forwards. ME109 G2BR21 coming in with the rocket strike onto the ZIS-3. Going to be prevented by a crit. The pilot panicked, got shot down by the 37mm AA. T-34 currently doing a lot of damage to these grenadiers as they're trying to move up. The Jagdpanther still engaging the ZIS-3 on the main road. There was a ZIS-3 on this bottom side, but it looks like that got taken out by a bomber or artillery or something. Either way, that's been taken care of. Oh, now the Jagdpanther being shot at by this 85mm. Frubblord has now turned off the APCR for the ranged engagement, which is good, as that's thrown and forced back for now. And more infantry on its way. It looks like the grenadiers that were pushing forwards may have overextended slightly before they got any support, so they have been broken down. Frubblord's managed to get some Strafniki up here, which are the 20-man squads. These are crazy. There's just so many men in these squads. They have 3 machine guns. Very, very difficult to break down, especially with 9-man grenadier squads. Anyway, Pioneers on their way. If they can get into the heavy cover, they can probably trade pretty well. Stoke 3 is currently moving up as well. Might be able to stay up on the ridge and get some shots down onto these infantry crossing in the open. But still 14 to 10. Looks like this grenadier is going to look for this flag on the far side of the valley, which is good because Vitch definitely needs to find some extra flags right now, but is still struggling in this game. We do see the Jagdpanther still under fire, currently bailed out. This 85mm AA might actually run out of ammunition before it finds the kill, because I expect the penetration value onto the 140mm of frontal armor is pretty low. Anyway, we see one of the Ersatz dying there. That grenadier is very low. The Pioneers, it looks like they're just taking up position on the flag to prevent the Chernos and Strafniki from taking it. Jagdpanther eventually dies to the 85. It has 3 AP shells left, so got there in the end. Grenadiers do need to be careful of a Sapari engagement, and Vitch forced to move away from that. However, the Sapari can just move forwards with their SVTs and DPs and kill the Grenadiers in the open. And well, all of these Grenadiers on the top here have been forced back, so no flag cap for Vitch just yet. Currently 2 minutes and 40 seconds till Vitch loses the game. Strafniki is still killing off his infantry, so he's in trouble for sure. This Ersatz dies and the flag goes back in favour of Frubblord immediately. That's a big issue. I kind of feel like Vitch may be getting low on availability, although we have just moved into phase C, so that may have changed just now, because using Pioneers for like an open range engagement on this top side was not the best idea, and I think that may have been just because he ran out of Grenadiers in phase B. But now he's in phase C, might be able to make it work. ME109 might get shot down. Will the last few shots get the kill? Oh, it's gonna survive. The last hit there not quite managing to do the job. So Pioneers now engaging the ZIS-3s from range. These are still MG34s on these squads, so the ZIS-3 will go down most likely. The second ZIS-3, however, might be able to pin 1 or 2 of the squads. Well, this flag has been captured on the bottom side, but the crossroads is still lost here. And having not cleaned out these Chernos, Vitch is going to have to put more grenadiers into clearing that out. So the reason, or the way that Vitch is going to stall this game is if he can get these pioneers onto this flag. But he's got to break through 2 Gavardia DP squads, which are in light cover, whilst his units are not in light cover and have less firepower. So that's a really, really tough position for Vitch to be in. Needs some form of artillery or something to pin these down, maybe just a quick bomber or something. But Frubblord has 237mm AA here, so that's going to be very, very difficult. IS-2 has been brought in on this bottom side now. That's taking care of the Stug. That Stug's currently shooter killed, and the IS-2 is going to find the kill. Grenadier just on return fire on this flag. That's not going to last too long, is it? There's only 13 seconds left. I think Frubblord has this in the bag. Vitch could not stop the bleeding, and that's going to be about it. That is all she wrote. HS129B3. No kills for you, my friend. Either way, minor victory for Frubblord after 22 minutes and 23 seconds. I would say that was pretty decisive, honestly. Frubblord making great use of the Vanguard deployment type in Phase A. He actually had like less of an advantage as he would have had against like a balanced deployment type, but he still managed to make it work. Still got a lot of kills with his units in the early game, and I feel like Vitch just lost too much ground too quickly, especially in the town on the bottom side. Like holding on to that town is very important, and I can see how why on that map, like the Axis side, might employ more troops on the top side, because that's where you can take the closer flags from the Soviet side. But you still need to defend those flags in the town on the bottom side that start on your side of the map, otherwise you are constantly at a disadvantage. And in some ways it does make the map look a bit unbalanced, but either way, let's jump into the kills. This KVA test did fantastically well. The kill onto the PaK-40 was vital for saving a lot of Frubblord's armor. It forced Vitch to invest into the HS129B3, which is very expensive, rather than being able to use the PaK-40 that only costs 60 points. So yeah, this KV-8S transport sniping the PaK-40, super important for maintaining the ground in that town for Frubblord. That's more, I would say, Vitch's mistake than it is Frubblord's game, but still, the KV-8S killed plenty of nice light and medium armor. OB-25 and 45mm there getting some nice kills. Looks like that AT gun there got 3 transport kills onto Grenadiers. This isn't something you want to see at all. Fairly rocks, really nice infantry squads these are, especially when they're made 3-star veterancy. This comes down to Frubblord's use of the commander from the start of the game, and I feel like Frubblord's use of the commander throughout the tournament from the start has been vital in a lot of his victories, because it makes the units a lot more efficient. This T-34 taking out 2 IG-18s there. Oh, that's a nasty kill list for some Chernos. These are disheartened infantry, and they take out 5 units. That is very bad indeed for Vitch. These AA pieces, looks like this one paid itself off nicely, killing a Stug 3, the PaK-40 and a Jagdpanther. This one shot down the HS129. So although I questioned Frubblord's investment in the AA, it looks like it paid off. Especially on this bottom side, the kill onto the ME-109 G2BR-21 and the HS-129. Grafniki there, really strong squads, killing multiple Grenadier and the Ersatz-Truppen. On the side of Vitch, it was interesting to see the Nebelwerfer early on. I feel like the Nebelwerfer 41 is pretty underpowered at the moment, and doesn't really do its job, even pinning stuff down. But the flanking movement from the Sosstrup and Flammenwerfer from the initial infantry engagement was really nice to kill off the OB-25s and 45mm AT gun on that top side. Did give Vitch a lot of room to bring in some more reinforcements and continue to solidify his position, but unfortunately he was under a lot of pressure on the bottom side. The play with the HS129B3 initially was great. He managed to get the 5 T-34E kills, which is massive. So great job with that HS-129 for sure. The second HS-129 killed the KV-8S, but that is about it. But most of the other units are pretty lackluster on the side of Vitch. And, well, very well played by Frubblord. Maybe a little bit too many mistakes on the side of Vitch, especially letting units and transports die. I think he lost a lot of points to that in this game. By the way, that's it. That's game 1 of a best of 3 between Frubblord and Vitch. Still all to play for going forwards. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for game 2. Goodbye.